Have you ever really thought about the God of the Old Testament and Jesus in the New? Are they the same? How do they relate? It's a massive question that really gets to the very heart of faith, and it shapes, well, pretty much everything. So today, we're going to dive deep into that, looking at some key scriptures that connect Yahweh and Jesus in a way you might not have seen before. Let's get into it.
All right, so let's just put the core question right out there. Is Jesus the Creator God, or is he a created being? Now, this isn't just some abstract theological debate. For groups like the Jehovah's Witnesses, the answer is very clear. They believe Jesus is a created being. But what does the Bible actually say when you put the pieces together? Well, let's find out. So our first stop is going to be the New Testament, and what you find here is that the writers across the board give this incredibly consistent testimony about Jesus' role in creation.
You can't get much clearer than the Apostle John. He just comes right out and says it. All things were made through him. And then, just so we don't miss the point, he doubles down. And without him was not anything made that was made. The logic is just so simple but so powerful, right? If Jesus created everything, then by definition, he can't be a part of creation.
And then you've got the Apostle Paul, and he adds this whole other dimension in his letter to the Colossians. Notice this. It's not just that things were created by him, it says they were created for him. That is a huge statement. It means Jesus wasn't just the agent of creation, he's the very reason for it, the whole point of it all.
And our third witness here, the book of Hebrews, hammers the point home one more time. The world was created through the Son, so the message from the New Testament is just crystal clear. Jesus is the creator. But that leaves a question, doesn't it? Was he just a helper, kind of like a divine project manager following a blueprint? Let's see.
Now we're going to switch gears and jump back to the Old Testament. And this is where it gets really interesting, because here you find some of the strongest, most exclusive claims you can imagine about God being this solo creator.
Just listen to this. This is God speaking through the prophet Isaiah. I am the Lord who stretches out the heavens by myself. And then, just in case there was any confusion, he adds, with no one else. Wow. The language is absolute. There is zero wiggle room there for a junior partner or a co-creator. And he says it again here in the next chapter. It's this very personal, exclusive language. It is I who made the earth. My own hands stretched out the heavens. Now, that little phrase right there, my own hands, that is the key. That's the key that unlocks this whole thing. Let me show you how.
Okay, so you see the tension, right? The New Testament says the Son created everything. The Old Testament says Yahweh created everything, completely alone. So, is the Bible contradicting itself? Not at all. In fact, the Bible itself resolves this tension in the most stunning way.
Okay, get ready, because this is the moment it all clicks into place. The writer of Hebrews is quoting the Old Testament, but with this incredible twist. This is God the Father speaking directly to God the Son, to Jesus. And what does he say? He says, the heavens are the work of your hands. He takes the very language used to describe Yahweh's solo act of creation and applies it directly to Jesus. Just look at this, side by side. On the right, in the Old Testament, Yahweh says, my own hands. On the left, in the New Testament, God the Father says to Jesus, your hands. You see, the Bible is making a direct one-to-one connection. The hands of Yahweh are the hands of Jesus.
The conclusion here is it's inescapable if you follow the text. The Son who created is the very same person as Yahweh who created alone. They aren't two separate beings. They are one and the same Creator God.
So, we've connected the dots. We've solved the puzzle. But so what? Why is this so important? Is this just a cool bit of theological trivia, or does it change, well, everything? I think you know the answer. It absolutely changes everything.
Here's why this is so critical. For starters, it means Jesus isn't a created being. He's the eternal creator. It means that everything that exists, you, me, the stars, exists for him. And get this, it means the Father himself calls the Son God and Lord. Even the angels who are created are commanded to worship the Son. So when people worship Jesus, it isn't idolatry. It is the right and true worship of the one true God.
And that leaves us with one final, just massive thought to chew on. If the creator of the entire universe, the one whose hands stretched out the heavens, is the very same person who walked among us as Jesus,
What does that tell you about his character? What does it say about his incredible love that the Creator would be willing to step down into his own creation for us? Now that is a question that can change how you see everything.